While I was on the online mental asylum known as Twitter, I saw a post where someone asserted that the work of the late Aisha K. Faines was being stolen.
We have an issue. This is Aisha Faines, who's a well-known journalist, black activist, thought leader. She's done extensive work and research within the sexual politics and gender dynamic space. She's the founder of Women Love Power and also the one who authored the 13 Feminine Seduction Archetypes. She passed away not too long ago. A fellow mutual of mine by the name of Aaliyah Weston, who's a black woman, brought Aisha's work to TikTok. I will tag her user app below. And the ways that I've seen white women engage with Aisha's content on here is absolutely nefarious. So when I type in female archetypes, this is what I see. A bunch of white faces. A lot of these videos don't even have tags to Aisha. Not trying to speak over anybody, I'm sure Aisha would have loved to see her work recognized, respected, and appreciated by all. But that's not what's happening. What I'm seeing is this sort of like revision in the comments. Like people are trying to add in language that wasn't there, that didn't exist prior. And you guys are not crediting her, which is a real issue.
For the uninitiated, Aisha ran a website called Women Love Power. The website was built from her deep interest in studying the lives of history's most fabulous and scintillating women. She created a website to help the modern woman realize that power was rightfully hers. I first discovered Aisha via a web series called The Grapevine. She was cogent, intelligent, refined, and for lack of a better word, divinely feminine. After following her on other social media websites, I discovered that this amazing black woman was also an Ivy League educated salsa dancer. She was so many wonderful things in a single woman. I took her archetypes quiz, which unsurprisingly confirmed that I was a sage. However, I did not fully understand the meaning of archetypes. I thought that they were no different from horoscopes. It wasn't until I discovered Jordan Peterson did I get introduced to the work of Carl Jung, particularly his work on male archetypes.
Jung was a tremendously insightful clinician, and he was a strange person, introverted visionary, high in introversion, very, 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 very high in openness, like off the charts. And also, God only knows what his IQ was. I mean, every time I read Jung, it's like reading Nietzsche. It's terrifying because, you know, he's so damn smart that he can think up answers to questions that you don't even, it's not like you don't understand the answers. It's that you never conceptualized the damn question.
After studying the king, warrior, lover, and magician archetype, I asked myself, where are the female archetypes? From that question, I found the work of Jean Shinoda Bolen. She wrote the book titled Goddesses in Every Woman, Powerful Archetypes in Women's Lives. Bolen was a Jungian analyst. Her book details the 7 primary archetypes that Aisha would later use in her work. If people had taken the time to study Aisha's work, they would realize that it was the descendant of a rich history of psychological discovery, which she also stole from someone else. This is not to disrespect the work of a woman that is not here to defend herself. I deeply admire Aisha. Her words spoke to me when I was completely doused in self-loathing after another failed talking stage. It is to highlight the difference between conventional wisdom and heresies. In the internet era, the cost of content is going to be driven to zero. People have become accustomed to free content, and that desire is not going away anytime soon. Even if you have a different idea and put it behind a paywall, someone will always leak the content and make some money off it via advertising revenue. Therefore, there is nothing that I can say to you that you haven't already heard before, especially in the realm of self-development. YouTube is full of the same conventional wisdom regurgitated by so many people trying to make some money off it. Conventional advice is simple. For example, take healthcare. A majority of us would be in better bodily health by eating a variety of leafy greens, fruits, and vegetables. Additionally, moderate to vigorous exercise via the gym or a sport would be beneficial. This idea, if practiced, would reap results for the vast majority of people. Then, if you have exhausted those efforts, you can get into saunas, ice baths, supplementation, and other frontier health and fitness practices. Similar to personal finance, you do not need to watch the 1 millionth personal finance YouTube video telling you how to have 7 different income streams. When you look at the lives of the wealthiest people in society, they often have their wealth tied to one primary income source. Even if you were to learn all of the different dropshipping methods, forex, and crypto trading, your lifestyle and risk tolerance might prohibit you from working on those projects. Simply put, to make some money, give the world something that it's willing to pay you for. With regards to your career, I could say stay hungry and foolish like Steve Jobs. Or God does not make his works manifest through cowards like Ralph Waldo Emerson. Or your journey towards liberated bliss will lead you into uncharted terrain and unconventional life choices like Aisha K. Faines. Or I could remind you that you'll be dead one day, just like all the people I just mentioned, and you have very little say on when that day would be. Any advice that I could give you would be stolen from the lives of others. However, truly life-changing insight cannot be taught. This type of information is called a heresy, or as Peter Thiel calls it, a secret. Famous Silicon Valley investor Peter Thiel is known for his investments in companies such as Facebook, Stripe, Airbnb, and Palantir. All those companies are built on what Peter Thiel would describe as secrets. In his words, every one of today's most famous and familiar ideas was once unknown and unsuspected. The mathematical relationship between a triangle's sides, for example, was secret for millennia. Pythagoras had to work hard to discover it. If you wanted in on Pythagoras' new discovery, joining his strange vegetarian cult was the best way to learn about it. Today, his geometry has become a convention, a simple truth we teach our grade schoolers. A conventional truth can be important. It is essential to learn elementary mathematics, for example. But it won't give you an edge. It is not a secret. The actual truth is that there are many secrets left to find, but they will yield only to relentless searchers. To huckle down on this point, he asks the question, what important truth do very few people agree with you on? Or the business version of this contrarian question, what valuable company is no one building? Why are secrets so important? They are the foundation that the current world is built on. Apple was built on the secret that eventually everyone would want their own personal computer. Airbnb is built on the secret that people would be willing to pay for unique experiences in different locations in the world, and another group of people would be willing to rent their homes to meet that demand. Tesla was built on the secret that the environmentalist movement had a social signaling aspect. Elon knew that he could use an expensive car to finance cheaper cars and build out the electric vehicle industry. Another amazing thing about secrets is that you only need one to change your life, as marked by the founders of all these different companies. I believe that the need to please prevents a large portion of women from pursuing unconventional ideas.
Get this uncontrollable need to please people.
People are scared to be wrong and face the public ridicule that comes with unorthodox ideas. Heretics and witches were burnt at the stake. We have heard of cases of people being exiled for being unorthodox but right. Imagine being excommunicated and isolated for an idea that ends up being wrong. In most situations in life, we already know what is required of us. We simply lack courage. If you're in a partnership that is physically and mentally unbearable, you already know that it is in your best interest to leave. If you are in a soul-crushing job, you know it is time to exit. You have simply found ways to rationalize and justify your suffering. No amount of conventional wisdom can force action. The Coffy Salon is a space that reminds women of our birthright, to live a fulfilling life. To understand that the perceptions and roles that we were meant to play by patriarchy are nothing but a mirage. The Coffy Salon is a reprieve from the vapid and soulless conversations happening on the internet. I do not have anything to sell women as some sort of magic pill. I just want to meet other women building lives for themselves, pool our collective information, and magnify our impact. I want to encourage women to 10x their ambition, not in a girl boss kind of way, but in a you are far greater than what you think you are capable of kind of way. There is also nothing that I can tell you that you haven't already learned from studying the lives of these heroes. You should probably not listen to some pseudo-anonymous person on the internet for some sort of life advice. The Coffy Salon is a space where women can share our secrets about the world and capitalize on them. There are communities on the internet that are built on secrets. For example, Wall Street Bets, a subreddit that was able to drive the resurgence and increase in stock price for multiple companies such as GameStop, BlackBerry, Nokia, and AMC. Wall Street Bets was built on the fact that individual investors were at a disadvantage in comparison to big institutional investors. With that in mind, Wall Street Bets had a shared secret. If only one of us knew a good trade, we could all collectively profit off it. They realized that they could collude against their larger socioeconomic realities. In Wall Street Bets, they became co-conspirators against the corporate short sellers Melvin Capital. People who had never met each other but were disgruntled at the financial inequalities that they were facing decided to focus their efforts on gaining power and wealth. I want to do this but for women. Women working on their niche esoteric side projects, or women who are deeply passionate about nature and defending it, or the artists who are expressing themselves no matter how weird their ideas are. The Coffy Salon is a place for our secrets and heresies. With that in mind, I want to grow this community. If you have a secret, DM me the secret on Twitter. If your secret is contrarian enough, you'll be gifted a free month of premium coffee membership. If you want to know what some of my secrets are, some of them will be linked below. Thank you all for joining me in the Coffy Salon, and I hope to see you all later.